Welcome to the deep dive. We get you informed fast. Today, we're looking into a real head scratcher, a paradox playing out in Vermont. You hear Vermont, you think progressive public health, right? Lots of harm reduction, syringe programs, medication assisted treatment, MA.
Exactly. You'd naturally assume they'd be ahead of the curve on substance use disorder, making real progress.
But the numbers, they tell a completely different story.
They really do. Vermont's actually dealing with one of the highest SUD rates in the entire country.
Wow, how high.
Get this. Nearly 1 in 4 Vermonters aged 12 and up reported a substance use disorder in the past year. That's significantly higher than the national average of about 15%.
1 in 4. That's staggering.
And it gets worse. Opioids, involved in almost 87% of overdose deaths there.
Okay, so our mission today in this deep dive is to figure out why. Why aren't these well-meaning efforts, these harm reduction strategies, enough?
And we're examining this critical argument from our sources, the idea that sometimes these models can become what's called harm maintenance.
Harm maintenance. Can you unpack that a bit?
Yeah, it suggests that while the system provides immediate help, like clean syringes or MAT, it might miss the deeper needs. The sources put it starkly. Clean syringes, but no ceremony. And MAT, but no meaning.
Implying addiction is way more than just biology.
Precisely. It's framed as this kind of rupture, a break in identity, a lack of connection, maybe even deep grief with nowhere to go.
So saving lives is critical, obviously, but maybe not the whole picture for recovery.
Exactly. And our sources point to a key moment, June 2020. That's when Vermont decriminalized possessing buprenorphine up to a certain amount, even without a prescription.
Okay.
Combine that with the COVID pandemic, plus the rise of highly toxic fentanyl.
Yeah.
It just created, well, a perfect storm.
A perfect storm. What did that look like, for people on the ground, the real world effects?
Tough stuff. You saw a medication like Suboxone, which is buprenorphine, basically turning into a street commodity.
You mean people selling their prescribed meds?
Yeah. Selling it maybe to make rent, then having to buy it back on the street later, or even trading it for stronger stuff like fentanyl. Desperate survival tactics.
Yeah, that sounds like a cycle, not a solution.
It really highlights how just providing the tool, the MAT, wasn't enough without that larger structure for real change.
And we see this harm maintenance idea playing out really clearly in somewhere like Burlington.
Oh, absolutely. In Burlington, the syringe programs give out something like 20,000 syringes every month.
20,000.
Yeah. And the return rate, only about 25%. Meanwhile, emergency crews are handling, on average, 8 overdose calls a day.
8 a day.
And the system's response. Things like raffles, even iPhones, just to get people to bring back used syringes. It really paints a picture of managing symptoms, not fostering genuine recovery.
So it's managing, not healing. But the sources go deeper, don't they? Connecting addiction to the economy.
They do, very strongly. The argument is that addiction often takes root in the cracks of collapsed industries, in those empty barns, in towns that lost their economic core.
Like specific examples.
Sure. Look at Franklin County buprenorphine prescriptions shot up over 100%. The sources link that directly to a sense of lost opportunity.
Wow.
Or Springfield, where the machine tool industry declined and addiction rates climbed. It shows recovery isn't just clinical, it needs, well, the sources call it economic dignity.
Economic dignity, meaning more than just a paycheck.
Yeah, it's about purpose, meaningful work, a reason to get up and build something that lasts. Without that foundation, the sources argue, relapse becomes routine. Despair sets in.
Addiction becomes ritual. Despair becomes structure. That's powerful phrasing.
It really is.
And beyond the economic, there's this idea of a spiritual void, too.
Right. Addiction as a rupture in meaning, almost like soul loss after trauma. People are surviving without story, just kind of numbing out.
So the system might keep someone breathing?
But doesn't necessarily bring them back to life, as one source puts it. It misses that deeper healing.
Are there existing ways to address that, things happening on the ground?
Yes, absolutely. The sources point to these vital, sacred healing practices already present in Vermont. Things like traditional barn ceremonies, ancestral songs, peer coaches who understand trauma, breath work, storytelling.
Things that build connection and meaning.
Exactly. Spirituality, in a broad sense. It fosters hope, self-worth, resilience, stuff that's absolutely crucial for lasting sobriety. These are seen as the missing pieces.
Okay, so putting it all together, the limits of just harm reduction, the economic needs, the spiritual gap, where does that leave us? What's the path forward according to these sources?
Well, they propose 4 key policy shifts. But the emphasis is that they have to work together. They're synergistic.
Right, not just isolated fixes. What are they?
First, bring back some accountability around MAP prescribing and diversion. Second, really expand certified recovery housing. Make sure it's trauma-informed and uses social models of support.
Okay, housing and accountability.
Yeah.
What else?
Third, formally integrate spiritual care and these ritual-based healing practices into the official recovery system. And fourth, make substantial investments in rural economic development and jobs that are recovery-friendly.
So it's this whole ecosystem. Economic stability helps spiritual healing.
And that spiritual resilience gives people the strength to pursue economic purpose. It's holistic. It sees the whole person.
So to wrap up this deep dive, Vermont's crisis, it's clearly not just about clinical treatment. It's a call to mend these deeper breaks, economic, community, spiritual breaks, to really enable healing.
The vision is transformative. Imagine clinics offering breathwork alongside buprenorphine, fire circles next to syringe exchanges, barn ceremonies as part of the treatment plan.
Where the goal isn't just managing with Suboxone, but replacing that need with dignity, purpose, and belonging. It really makes you think. So, for you listening, what deep needs for meaning or connection or purpose might be unmet in your own community or even your own life? And how could a truly holistic approach spark real transformation there?